You're listening to a GWP weather update. It's Friday, March 13th, 2026. I'm your host, Jacob Fulmer, and today we're going to be looking at a storm system that is expected to move through on Sunday that's going to bring the chance for some thunderstorms and even some snow Sunday night with a big drop in temperatures. So we're going to start things off by looking at our current national weather alerts that we have here. And so you'll notice that we do have some winter alerts further to the north where we're expecting some of that heavier snow over the weekend. We do even have some red flag warnings. We've got some wind alerts here. So all sorts of different alerts here. As of right now, we don't have any alerts in the current area. So that is certainly some good news. Today, we are concerned about that elevated fire danger. Of course, further towards our west, where we have some of the stronger winds, that's where the fire threat is going to be just a little bit more. But we are going to have some low relative humidity values across parts of the state of Missouri today. And so that will lead to a slight fire risk as we go through today. So really the best thing to do is probably no outdoor burning today as we do have those warmer temperatures and drier conditions out there as it could lead to the spread of wildfires. This posted today from the National Weather Service in Springfield, Missouri. Again, highlighting that danger that we have for today with that fire threat. Again, it is on the relatively low side, but it is still something to keep in mind as you go throughout today. On Sunday, though, that's what our big story is. That's the main reason we're doing this update here. An enhanced risk on that Sunday severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center across Arkansas, extending up into Indiana here. That's a 3 out of 5 on this severe weather scale here. Southern Missouri is in that slight risk, and then we do even have a marginal risk for severe weather across central Missouri, including Columbia and into Lake of the Ozarks. Joplin is kind of on the edge of that. Nevada is currently not in that risk, but kind of just on the outside of that risk. So the eastern portion of our viewing area, you could say, is under that marginal risk for severe weather as we go into Sunday afternoon. Now, once the cold front hits, and it's going to be a strong cold front, that severe weather risk is going to drop to near zero. And so that is going to be the good news. So it's going to be a very short-lived event for us. But when it comes in, we could be looking at the risk of some hazardous winds as well as hail, maybe even an isolated tornado, although that risk is very low at this point in time. So let's show you that forecast. So some of that heavier snow is going to build in as we go into Saturday night. This is not going to affect us. Temperatures are still going to be warm. We could even get close to 70 degrees tomorrow. A little bit breezy out there as we go through the day tomorrow as that storm system begins to build. We even have an ice risk across Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin by the time we get into Sunday morning. It's going to be mostly cloudy Sunday morning, then the rain will begin to build in late morning and into the early afternoon, and then a line of thunderstorms is going to develop between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. before the cold front hits. Temperatures will be in the 60s during the morning and early afternoon hours on Sunday, and so that is going to fuel this severe weather threat. Now, because we're going to have mostly cloudy conditions, the atmosphere is not going to be as favorable as it has been on the previous days of severe weather. Like we had severe weather last Tuesday, we had severe weather a week ago. The environment was more favorable when we saw that. So not as much so as we go into Sunday. So a line of thunderstorms will move through, heavy at times. We could get some heavy precipitation out of this storm system, heavy rainfall on the front end of that frontal system. And then the frontal system moves through. Temperatures will drop very quickly through the 60s, through the 50s, through the 40s, through the 30s, even into the 20s and teens as we go during the overnight hours. Now, as the temperatures drop below freezing, that rain will quickly switch over to snow. The snow could be heavy at times. We're talking about reduced visibilities of potentially as low as a mile with heavy snowfall rates and very strong winds gusting at over 40 miles per hour at times. We could even have a few places that could lose power, so that's something else that we have to watch. Snow continues through Sunday night into the early morning rush as we go into Monday. So for that Monday morning commute, it could be a little bit slippery out there with some of those roadways becoming snow covered as we go into Monday, and then colder temperatures persisting through the day on Monday as that snow begins to move out of here by the morning hours. The American model showing some of that heavier snowfall. This is from Tropical Tidbits here, showing some of that heavier snowfall of around 2 feet of snow is going to be possible across northern Michigan and northern Wisconsin. Now, here in the state of Missouri, we're talking about lighter snowfall accumulations. So, right now, what is the forecast for snowfall in our area? Around the Nevada area, we're talking about a dusting. Joplin will probably not see any accumulation, but a dusting of snowfall is possible across Nevada through Lake of the Ozarks. Then we get kind of up towards a half an inch, and then possibly upwards of an inch around Interstate 70, including Jefferson City and Columbia. So up to an inch of snowfall is going to be possible with this storm system on Sunday. Let's look at some of those snowfall probabilities. This is from the Weather Prediction Center, and as of right now, they're showing about an inch to an inch and a half is what's expected here in Columbia, and then maybe around a half an inch across Nevada. So that's what some of those probabilities are showing us. If we look at the higher end, probably 4 or 5 inches would be like the highest amount of snowfall. But because our temperatures are so warm, again, we're talking about temperatures near 70 tomorrow, 60 on Sunday, that is going to make it very difficult for there to be any accumulation. So it does show 4 to 5 inches on that higher end of the scale, but this is very unlikely because of those temperatures that we have, and also just the nature of how quick this storm system is going to be moving through. There's not really a whole lot of precipitation. If we look at the lower end of that scale, we might not see any accumulation. So what are the probabilities that we're going to have a tenth of an inch of snow, at least a tenth of an inch? Right now, the probabilities are about 90%, so 80 to 90% across Columbia. So it's pretty much guaranteed, almost guaranteed that we're going to have some snowfall accumulation. What about an inch of snowfall accumulation? Those probabilities drop off significantly. So it is for that reason, that is why I'm expecting us to get in Columbia anywhere from a dusting to an inch of snowfall, because the probability is about 90% that we get a dusting, but it's less than 50% of us getting an inch. So that is the reason why I'm putting the snowfall forecast here in Columbia at a dusting to an inch of accumulation. That's what I believe is expected based on this probability. And then as you go towards 2 inches, the chances drop off even more. But it is a possibility that we could get a couple of inches of accumulation. But what's more likely to happen is a dusting to around an inch. Again, as we mentioned, around Nevada, stretching through Lake of the Ozarks, we're talking about a half an inch is likely, with 1 or 2 inches kind of being on the higher side of things, and then likely not really any accumulation in the Joplin area is expected. So that's kind of why the forecast is that way. So, and then again, as we mentioned, this cold front is going to drop off temperatures significantly. We've been above average for the most part the last couple of weeks, but we're going to see that colder surge of air move in as we go into your Monday. Monday morning lows will likely be in the teens, with those winds gusting at around 30 miles per hour. Wind chills could be below zero on Monday. Temperatures likely staying below freezing most of the day on Monday. It's going to stay cold into Tuesday, and then eventually temperatures returning to more seasonable, if not unseasonably warm, as we go towards the later part of next week. So we're going to be getting into the 60s today, possibly near 70 tomorrow, 60s during the morning on Sunday, with temperatures dropping throughout the day to near freezing in the afternoon. We're dropping off into the teens Sunday night, so you'll want to drip those faucets Sunday night. Highs on Monday around 30, 35 degrees, kind of in that range, likely dropping off to near 20 once again on Monday night. And so you'll want to drip your faucets Sunday night and Monday night. And then temperatures will finally start to warm back up again as we go towards Tuesday, but especially on Wednesday and Thursday, with temperatures returning into the 60s and 70s. All right, well, that is it in this weather update. We will keep you updated as we get closer to that storm system. But Sunday is the day to watch for severe weather and winter weather as well.